Unless you've been hiding, you can't get away from it. AI is everywhere, including your business. Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. You know, the world of artificial intelligence, well, it's exploding every day. New features, new adaptations, new capabilities. In fact, by the time this episode comes out, it'll probably be outdated. So, all the more reason we, as leaders, need to face this brave new world head on. No hiding and thinking or hoping it'll go away or not impact your business. It's here to stay. It's growing, and every business is going to be impacted. And it's up to us if that's a good or a bad thing. Now, I'm not going to even try to delve into the specifics of what AI can do. There are all sorts of experts deep diving into that all over the place. But we are going to take a look at some of the things that you need to think about as your team takes on AI. What? You thought that no one on your team was using AI? Well, let me tell you, just because they haven't come right out and said so, well, it doesn't mean they aren't using it left and right. It's just that you and I missed the memo. So, if you want to be sure you're leading the charge instead of hanging on by your fingernails for dear life, let's talk about introducing AI to your team. First up, let's set some basic knowledge. Now, the most popular AI tools are generative AI or large language models like ChatGPT. Generative AI is a program that can create new things like pictures, stories, music, or even computer code, while large language models are a type of generative AI that's trained on huge amounts of information and data. They're primarily used for text-based tasks such as translation, summarization, text completion, etc. Now, the main thing you need to know is that together, and for the most part, popular tools today use them together, they can take on a lot, and I do mean a lot of tasks. Now, on a personal note, so far, AI seems to be most effective when you use it as a research assistant or brainstorming partner. Just taking AI output in its raw form and dumping it into a final project or presentation, well, that generally doesn't yield great results. So for that reason, as well as the fact that AI can still have a hallucination issue, meaning it can just make stuff up, you'll want to be sure human oversight still carries the day. And while AI has immense potential to help streamline processes and make things easier all around, it's critical that you have an eye on the potential risks, like privacy and confidentiality. You have to be sure that the input prompts aren't divulging private, personal information or confidential company information. Remember, unless you specifically opt out, everything you put in is available to the AI for learning, and it may use your data when responding to someone else's question. You certainly don't want a new, not yet released product accidentally announced to the world. And the hallucination challenge, well, that's also troublesome. If you're taking what the AI gives you as gospel and not checking, well, you could be in a world of hurt. Sometimes they're simply wrong. And if you aren't checking, then what you're putting out could be simply wrong. Now, much of this is being addressed even as we speak. And again, many of the AI tools now cite their sources. So you can click through to see where they're getting this stuff from and make a reasoned decision as to whether or not you trust the source. But again, you've actually got to do the legwork and check. And since AI learns from existing information, some of that information can be, actually, what am I saying? It absolutely is biased. And AI can't tell the difference. So the answers it gives could be biased or result in discrimination in some way. That's another attention point. And although they are getting better, AI systems currently lack the emotional intelligence and empathy that's required for effective communication, particularly in sensitive or nuanced situations. So if you rely solely on AI-generated communication, it could make you sound tone deaf or uncaring. All right, So you know the challenges you need to watch out for. Let's talk about the best way you can get the benefit of AI and still protect the business from possible downsides. Now, for larger organizations, they may look at pulling together a committee to do an analysis of what's needed, etc., etc. But for you and me, the smaller business owner, introducing AI tools can be a simpler process. But it's still important to take the right steps. First, look at the business. What specific tasks or processes could be streamlined by AI? Maybe it can help improve customer service by providing email draft answers to routine questions, or maybe it can help in operations by analyzing data or automating repetitive tasks. Next, you or someone on your team is going to have to do a bit of a deep dive into the available AI tools. Now, I know everyone is all gaga about ChatGPT, and I hopped on the bandwagon too. But my favorite is Perplexity. I was originally drawn to it because of the citations. It immediately told me where it got its data. And sure, now most of the tools do some version of that too, but I'm still a bit of a Perplexity nerd. In any event, different tools may be good for different things, so you're going to have to do a bit of an evaluation. Okay, now you know what you need and what can help you. Now it's time to look at setting some guidelines around how AI is going to be used. After all, you don't want your team flying by the seat of their pants. Remember, you have a list of things that you have to protect for: privacy, confidentiality, etc. So you'll need to figure out what's okay and what isn't around AI for your company. Consider things like data privacy, ethical use, and the role of human oversight in the decision-making process. Some states, in fact, have already put strict prohibitions around using AI in the staffing process. So check the latest rules with your Labor Council or HR Pro. You're going to need to provide training on the AI tools that you want used and how you want them used. You can't just leave everyone to their own devices. Different people will have different capabilities. And even with that, you'll probably have very specific ways that you want those tools used. In fact, my mind goes back to the human oversight issue. But you can't expect that everyone will just know what to do. You have to have training, both for your current team members, and you have to build something into your onboarding for new hires. Now, I suggest you start small and build from there. Start with 1 or 2 processes or functions, see what works and what doesn't. Then add as you can. It's far easier to see where the pitfalls are when you're working on a smaller scale, and it's less painful. Starting small gives you the opportunity to get feedback from the team. Build in ongoing monitoring. You'll need to continuously assess what's working and what isn't. And as I said at the top, this field is evolving minute by minute, so what worked last week may not be the best option this week. Again, get help from the team. Don't try to roll all this out by yourself. Aside from the fact that it's probably too much, you can't think of everything. And when you involve other people, it helps with their buy-in. Because we have to remember, there is some fear around AI. People are concerned about being replaced by bots. So anything you can do to encourage open communication and address concerns or resistance, well, that'll really help. Be clear that AI tools are meant to augment their capabilities, not replace them. And again, lean in on the necessity of human oversight. Okay, that's a lot. In next week's episode, we'll talk about the key elements of your AI policy and what safeguards you should put in place. And in the meantime, happy AIing. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.